Have you ever asked something simple and instead of getting a clear answer, the conversation went into a completely different direction? Not louder, not obvious, just slightly off. Sometimes what isn't being answered can stand out just as much as what is. Hello, welcome back to my channel, Oracle Rose Healing Tarot. Hey, Divine Collective. There are moments in conversations where clarity feels just out of reach. You ask something directly, but the response shift or redirect, or it's never quite landing where you expect it. It's kind of subtle, but it's noticeable. This message is going to explore what it means when questions are avoided and how your awareness may be picking up on that and more than what's being said. Hey, collective, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you guys are here today. I'm going to tell you, we're going to start battling these karmics right up out of our energy. Today, we're going to be dealing with avoidance. People who come around you, you direct, they're playing games. They want to force you into playing their little game. It's a Jedi mind trick. It's a manipulation. However, because you in your healing energy collective, it's that saying where they say bigger, higher levels, bigger devils. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But guess what? We're healed and we're ready. I'm gonna tell you guys how I got through one just today. Okay. But before we get started, I'm just gonna tell you, you may not have ever noticed anything like this before. Okay, so just take a second and like the video, and it's going to help you. If this message is going to help you guys reach out to more people, and it's also going to help the channel reach out to more people who are learning to trust what they notice too. Okay, and if you're already tapped into this kind of awareness, share this with someone who would understand it. Thank you, Divine Collective, for helping grow this space. And if you haven't yet, subscribe so you don't miss up on what's coming next. Okay, take what resonates and leave the rest for the universe to recycle, because everything ain't gonna hit you. But if it does, then just let me know. Okay, all right. Now, you already know, before we get started, we're going to always call on the divine and invite the energies in and positive energy from the Holy Spirit and what have you. However, before we get started, I'm going to ring the bell to clear the space. We already got some Palo Santos that was going over the cards. I'm going to be using the Wonderland Tarot and the Inner Wisdom Oracle deck, okay, for this reading. All right, so mind your ears. Here comes the bell. I give thanks to the Most High Divine Spirit for being here, for surrounding us with healing energy, and for guiding today's messages. And by the grace of the Most High and the Holy Spirit, this space is filled with love, peace, light, and all energies that do not serve our highest good are transmuted into love, healing, and renewing energy. Now let's step into this reading. Collective. Whew. At first, I wasn't going to do the reading, but I was like, the channel is due for a reading now. So thank you guys for being back. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Thank you for everyone who subscribed. I'm glad you guys are here with me. I'm rocking with who's here with me, and I really appreciate you guys. You make me feel like me going on this journey, it's all worth it. It's been worth it to me, but when I can reach out to the collective and help in any way, it's very helpful. Now, how I got to this reading, let me tell you. You know how it's been out there in the karmic streets, how someone, the retrograde might bring back an ex or what have you. Well, I had one to show up on my door today. Yes, I did. Let's get a cut on the deck so we can get going. All right. And of course, people will come back into your energy when you're not even thinking about it. You want to know what's going on. Okay. All right. So I wanted to talk about, I had to come to this table because I'm just like, what's going on? Because it was a shift in the whole energy between this person and myself. And you might even notice that too, collective, when you come across someone who hasn't been in your energy for a while. So we want to know what's the shift, because the shift is in the answer. We're going to ask the divine. Give us some energy on that. Okay, I had two come out on the first try. We're going to go back in. Let's see here. Two again. Let's go. All right. So what came out was the world. Wow. As the first card out of Major Arcana, the world. All right. So something about completion, maybe. Now this card is about the moment when the response don't match up with your question. Okay. You ask one thing and the answer goes somewhere else. And this world energy card is telling me that you are aware of the redirection, collective. Okay. Because a response that feels indirect or slightly off topic, you catching that. Okay. Your awareness may be noticing when your clarity is being avoided by somebody else. That's how you know who these karmics are out here. Okay. That's how you know who these. I'm not gonna call them. I'm gonna say South Node energies. They like to work in confusion and they're chaos agents. They show up for no reason. They're asking for things that make no sense. And they just want to see what you're gonna say because they're really just trying to measure your energy because they're trying to set up your energy for something later on down the line. But they think you're not aware of it. Okay. All right. So the technique, of course, is listen for alignment. All right. You're going to be listening to your inner self for alignment because how that works, you pay attention to whether the response actually answer what was asked. Okay. And you're going to also ask yourself, not ask the person. Once they give you a response, you're going to ask yourself if you're satisfied with that. Okay. All right. And that technique is rooted in active listening and communication psychology. Okay, that often is used to improve clarity anyway and detect misalignment in conversations. All right, and we're talking about avoidance. All right, so I'm gonna tell you, on this healing journey, people are gonna pay attention to what you're doing, and they're gonna try to meet you at your energy, but because they're fake, you're going to be able to spot it. And so you're going to, every time you come in contact with people who try your boundaries, there's going to be this whole like moment of weirdness. Okay. And so there's going to be a whole lot said, but there's going to be stuff that isn't said. So we're going to ask Divine, what wasn't said? What wasn't said in this energy with these avoidance, Divine? What wasn't said? Okay. We're going to ask the Divine. All right. All right. And what came out was, oh, wands, 10 of wands. Hmm, 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 hmm. 10 of wands. Imbalance. Okay. You must release some of the burdens. Okay. So somebody came around me today and I felt like that too. You know, sometimes the most important part of the conversation is what didn't get answered, what didn't get said. Silence or avoidance can carry meaning too. Okay. This person came around me asking for something that couldn't possibly be um, real at this point in time. And I was just like, why would I be involved with your life at this point in time with what you're requesting from me? And this person just shook their head and was like, I know. None of it made sense. Okay. So noticing a question is being skipped, a brush past, collective, that's the first thing that you'll know who you're dealing with. This avoiding. Okay. All right. And that card coming in the upright tells me that in your awareness, you knowing when something is being omitted, when somebody's not saying something. Okay. You're aware and you may be picking up on what's being left unsaid. And that's good because before you went on this journey, you probably just got pulled into the chaos by these chaos agents because you were actually just in the matrix with them. Now that you didn't step outside of it and you actually drive your own energy, collective, then you're noticing things, okay? And that's because you're probably picking up on this technique called the notice gap. Noticing the gap, recognizing missing responses, because that's going to bring clarity to the full picture of what's going on. I had this person show up out the blue. If you've been listening to any kind of tarot, you already know your ex around the corner, collective. I'm sorry to tell you, I'm not here to break bad news. I'm here to help you heal and get on this healing journey. Okay. So somebody wants back into your energy and they're going to show up. It's spring, things are popping up. Okay. Just know when you use that notice the gap technique, that approach comes from your critical thinking skills and your communicating, how you analyze, how you communicate with other people. And that's used to evaluate like incomplete or indirect responses. Okay. We already know a lot of times we be so ready to answer the person. We got the next question already locked and loaded in the clip that we're not even listening to what a person is saying. Sometimes we're helping people be avoidance, okay? And we're not even noticing when the redirection is coming out in the conversation, okay? So we're going to ask Spirit to help us on that. When is the redirection coming out? Holy Spirit, divine, divine most high. Because sometimes the conversation shifts quickly to another conversation. And if we're not paying attention, you're going to get caught up. I had two come up and I almost turned it over. Let me put them back in. I don't want to, I had something on the bottom. I ain't look at it because I didn't want to read it. Okay, it might throw something off. I asked the divine one card, please. See if we can get out. These cards will not tell you. The cards can get stubborn. Well, I ain't going to say that. Ooh, because they'll slow down. And what jumped over was Ace of Cups. Ooh, I just dropped the card. Give me 1 second. Thank you, Divine Most High. Ace of Cups, okay? And what we're talking about is when you're in the conversation collective and it can shift, okay? And sometimes the shift can be intentional. It can be automatic. People probably already got it set up because they already know what they're coming to you to talk about. And if they're in the cups, even though they might be coming to you, they might be talking about, starting something new, getting some new love beginnings or whatever. And that's probably what they're on. I'm figuring this was what I was going through today. If it's an ex showing up, that's probably what they want from you, okay? All right. It's like they come talking to you about one thing and then the conversation suddenly changed direction. And what this card upright is telling me, collective, you're recognizing the deflection, okay? You like, I see you. That's a good eye, collective. Your awareness may be catching when the attention is being redirected, and that's good, all right? So what we're going to do, we're going to take these little karmics and we're going to redirect them, all right, to stay with the question. I asked you one thing. Why it doesn't make quite sense why you XYZ. Bring them back to it. Make them get back to the focus. You ain't got to be rough with it. You can be gentle with it. You ain't got to bully them like I said what I said. You can just get them back to that because you're trying to maintain clarity. All right. And you want a person to be clear and honest with you. And that technique is used in assertive communication. And because we are participating in our own rescue, we all assertive around here. That's that's in the clip for us as well. We are very assertive, okay? But we do it as it works for us. All right. So, and you never know what these avoidants are on. You never know what the feelings are behind anything. And most of the time, we think we know, but a lot of times, even if we know, and even if the words sound fine, they'll come around us saying good words, but the feelings that you get from their words don't match what they're saying. They could be saying something very pleasant to you in a very pleasant way, but your body ain't responded to that, collective. Your internal response is what matters. It don't matter what they say. So we're gonna ask the divine what energy we need to be in to be catching that kind of stuff. So divine and two always jumping out on me. They want to come out in pairs today. What's this called? The Wonderland Tarot. Woo, I'm wondering myself. Because when I say I shuffled these cards like it was nobody's business, and I think in the, the last time I said two kept coming out, and I guess the ancestor said, and two will keep coming out if we want that. So let me just redirect, okay? Because a Knight of Cups in reverse came out. And what we were talking about was the feelings that the energy that you need to be in when you know the words is not, they might sound good, but the feelings is not matching that you get from the words because your internal response, that Knight of Cups came tumbling out in the reverse, and you already know that this is saying that you already know is feeling untruthful. Okay, this is what this represents. Okay, and you're recognizing it, you know it. Okay, this is telling me that your emotional awareness is coming up collective, and you like, oh yeah, I know this avoiding is being untruthful. I know it. I know it. Okay. And you just like, yeah, I'm not getting that. I'm not getting that with that. Okay. You be feeling unsure even after you get an answer for them because you just like, it's whack. What they're saying, this is not good. They playing on my top. They're playing with my intelligence. Okay. But they're trying to be all good and kind and all that, whatever it is. And you're catching it. You definitely catching it, all right? This is telling me that your awareness is picking up on the tone behind them words, and that's what's up. Okay? Because we remember it's what's not being said. All right, in the technique or whatever it is for this is always going to be to check your feelings, check your feelings. Don't let them get caught up in them describing their feelings and what they feel and what they want and what they feel and what they want. You're not a fairy godfather, mother, whatever. I used to say, I don't know why people are always trying to tell me about their feelings, you know because noticing your emotional response helps you clarify your perception, collective. And that's what you want to do. Remain clear, steady, ungrounded, grounded and unbothered. Okay. All right. And noticing your emotional response is top tier. That's part of your journey. All right. And that just comes from being emotional intelligent. And if you ever did any work around emotional intelligence and whatever, you'll know that it emphasizes or it makes the awareness of your internal response bigger than anything that's out happening outside of you. Okay? That's you learning to trust yourself. Okay? And sometimes you don't need immediate clarity when you're dealing with people at collective. Not every moment needs to be resolved right away. Sometimes the clarity comes after you go home and you reflect because people be trying to do the spin game way too much in the moment. And don't let nobody take you up in the whirlwind. Just get off the ride and be like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and just close the door on this. Like that conversation number one, I didn't even invite you here. You show up uninvited, asking weird questions, and you think I'm gonna stay in here for a long time doing that? Mm-mm. We gotta go. All right. So the thing that I wasn't looking for why that happened, and so the best energy to be in that, and I'm gonna see if the cards agree with the energy that I was in. But we're gonna ask the divine, what's the best energy to be in when we don't need to be having immediate clarity when dealing with an avoidant? Because what is it? Tell us. Let's see. Let's see what turned over. Temperance. Oh, the Empress. Okay. All right. When you don't need immediate clarity, the Empress. The Empress is the energy that we can embody. We can use this because you already know that's that nurturing, loving energy. That's that nurturing, loving energy we can give us to stop letting people just fill our ears with a bunch of garbage or things that don't match. you know? And so you can basically just say, hey, this is telling me you got some patience. You listen for a little bit. You're not cutting people off. You staying unbothered. You staying grounded. Your awareness is also guiding you to observe instead of, react and clap back or crash out too, collective. So that's good too. All right. So I always give things space. We ain't gotta talk about it right now. I'll get back to you. I'll have my people call your people, okay? Just tell them, collective. I'm just telling you, giving yourself some time helps you process what will actually happen. People like to get you on those surprise sneak attacks. Like I was hearing in the karmic streets that people that your ex, no matter how long he's been away, he might just pop up on you with a ring. I was laughing. I'm like, you ain't seen him in 2 years, 3 years. He gonna pop up on you with a ring, and he think because he cornered you, you can say nothing but yes. Oh my goodness. Anyway, if something in this message is just click for you, collective, go ahead and like the video. Please hype it up and share it too. You never know who else might find this kind of clarity right now. They might need it, okay? And thank you, Divine Collective, for continuing to help me build this space together, okay? And if you're not subscribed yet, what you waiting for? This is your reminder. Tap in so you don't miss the next message, okay? I'm always trying to keep up. I'm always a few steps ahead sometimes too, being an intuitive. But the good thing is I always share. Okay. All right. So now once you done went back home and you're like, okay, I wonder if I should even get this any energy. You know what I'm saying? You might know you like, should I even think about this? Because you always have an option of like going back to the question and trying to remember what this person was saying, or you can just let it go. It's your choice, but both choices can be intentional. It's your choice on your journey. Okay. You got to decide whether to bring something back up later. Because remember, we not on that rumination. We not letting things like just bounce in our head like whatever it is. Okay. So we're gonna ask Divine, should we choose to revisit or should we choose to think about any of these things? Like this avoidant, I told him to get off my doorstep and I'm just like here doing the reading. So you see what I'm doing. I'm clarifying. But we're gonna ask the Divine for the collective, should we choose to revisit anything? And what jumped out was a two of swords. Hmm. All right. Stalemate. You're at a crossroad. Okay. You see how they both just standing there like, she on her side, they on their side. Okay. And what this is telling me that, um, in this energy collective, you might be thinking that, yeah, dealing with this avoidant is your choice and you made the choice. And that's good because you're feeling like you're not being pushed. Okay. All right. And your awareness is deciding you to help what matters. And what matters to you is what's the most thing that should matter in the moment when you're dealing with anybody else. Okay. And if you can't come to some kind of clarity with that avoiding in that moment, then you got to choose your focus. That's the technique. You know what I'm saying? You got to choose what you're going to focus on. You got to choose when you get back, if you're going to revisit it, if you're going to focus on it then. You know what I'm saying? Because deciding to keep thinking about something with your energy, you got to be intentional because you got to remember things can drain your life force collective. Things can drain it. And I'm going to ask you, what you want to do? You want to get your pinnacles up, or do you want to ruminate on some things that make no choice? Okay, it's up to you because it's up to you. And you might even think, what's the big deal about any of this? It's a very big deal. It's a very big deal because a lot of people are on autopilot. They're being aggressive with their energy out here. They're being aggressive with their energy. They're being abrasive and, all things not good with their energy towards others. And then when you try to ask them what's going on or what they're doing or what have you, they avoid the question. They're not direct. Okay. And so You're not imagining it, collective. You just know. Sometimes you notice the shift is real. Okay, even when it's subtle, even when it's really, really, really small, your awareness is valid. Okay, and we're gonna ask the divine what's going on with that, because we recognize when things don't align. Okay, and so we're going to ask the most high divine that energy behind that. Okay, we're going to what to watch out for, anything that might help us when the energy is not aligned, and how you can confirm that you're not imagining anything. Okay, collective's not imagining anything because this uh, Ace of Wands came in reverse. Okay, so you already know when it's in reverse. You know when you at a loss. You know when you see an obstacle. You know what I'm saying? You know when somebody playing in your face. You know, you're not imagining it. All right. All right. And what this is telling me is that you trust in yourself when you know these avoidants are around you bringing this kind of energy. Okay. And your awareness is already confirming what you're sensing. You're not making it up. Okay. I always say acknowledge what you notice. Okay. Even if nobody else confirms or what have you. Because when the energy is being directed at you, collective, who needs confirmation? You know what you know. You said what you said. You experienced what you experienced. Okay. You're not spending time trying to convince nobody else what's going on with you. You've already stamped and validated it. Okay. And you also taking care of it. When you recognize what you notice, that means that you recognize that your perception is valid, and that strengthens your confidence in yourself, in your inner self. Like I said, who do you need to confirm your experience when it's yours? Okay. And also too, dealing with these avoidance, everything ain't got to be confronted with them, because they came for a confrontation. You know what I'm saying? They showed up for a confrontation. They want to. They're energy vampires. They want to come get whatever they can get out of you. That's why we learned about being unbothered. Okay, because that energy, they already know you ain't gonna be nicey. I don't care if you are on a spiritual healing journey. They want to. They want to prove that you're not. Okay, they want to show up, be all confusing, unclear, talk crazy. You know what I'm saying? And watch you crash. All right. So not everything needs to be confronted. Awareness doesn't always mean action. Sometimes it simply means understanding what's going on in front of you. And so the Most High Divine kicked out this Two of Wands. Another Wands in reverse. Okay. Two of Wands in reverse. It's the same thing. It's like somebody feeling stuck. They don't know, having a vision on something. They don't know what's coming up next. They can't see down the road. Okay. All right. And with the question was, not everything needs to be confronted. Okay. And this is like choosing to observe something over confronting something. So I'm seeing this, and you might you might be feeling the need to address everything with the avoidant, right? But not every moment requires a response. I'm gonna tell you why. Okay. If you observe without reacting, that's how you allow your clarity to build. Okay. You got to remember, once you reflect later, not only do you have to reflect on what was said in the moment, but every nuance that you add to it. And I'm going to say nuance, but I'm going to say conversation, any piece that you add to the puzzle too. And then you can go into overanalyzing the conversation. Okay. So just observe it without even reacting, and watch how, when you don't react and your clarity is built, watch the other person. You being mindful and your emotions are all intact, you're being mindful and your emotions are all intact. But that person, they're not gonna, if they're not healed, they're not gonna know what's going on in the moment. Okay. and they're gonna be thrown. They're gonna know. They're gonna either leave you alone, walk away, because they're gonna know that this is non-winning match for them. Okay. Because I'm gonna tell you, when you deal with those avoidants, you know it's all about their patterns, and those patterns become clear. Okay, one moment can be a pattern, become a pattern if it repeats. Okay, so, and you already know what the pattern is, you got to be aware. So awareness helps you connect those dots. You got to be aware. You can't be all in your feelings and all over here. Okay, so we're going to ask the Most High Divine in these situations with these avoidance, how to just keep the energy to connect the dots. What's the best energy to be in? When I say I didn't even get a chance to. All right, and so the Six of Pentacles came out. Now, Six of Pentacles be giving me something sometimes, but I guess you got to be generous. Okay, we got to be. This is what you got to give an equal give and take. Okay, and so we're talking about the energy of being in, recognizing the avoiding. Yeah, you got to realize if they're giving an equal give and take in a conversation, collective. Okay. And what this is telling me is that you noticing those patterns. Your awareness may be seeing the bigger picture. You know it has to be an equal give and take. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit, for this card. Thank you for the confirmation. Okay. All right. And so we just gonna say we're gonna move forward with clarity, because we the clear people around here. The clear side and then the others. All right. And the goal isn't to question everything collective. It's to understand what stands out. Clarity allows you to move differently. We moving different out here. We moving in silence too, because going in a circle with a conversation with an avoidant or anybody else is gonna drain you down. Okay. All right. But you're feeling more aware in future conversations. So we're just gonna ask the Most High Divine, what about that? Okay. What about that energy? And see what we can get out of there as far as like an energy to stay in to make sure we're moving forward in clarity. Okay. Divine, what say you? Okay, tell us. Tell us. Okay. Justice in reverse. Now, I'm looking at justice in reverse, and I'm thinking something unfair, maybe imbalanced. But when we moving forward with clarity, you got to make sure that your understanding is not unclear when you're dealing with an avoidant collective. This is what this is telling me. This is telling me that you might still be unclear when somebody is being avoidant. You might just be like, they're not wanting to tell me, or there may be, you may be letting them off the hook why they're not being direct with you. Okay. Remember, clarity is going to continue to build over time. All right. You might even just be accepting what you hear from some people and then trying to build your own clarity from there. Just remember, if you can't be clear with someone, you basically you can't build a authentic moment. So the technique is going to be to stay present. Okay. And how it works is being present in a conversation helps you notice more collective. Okay. Now, that I'm going to tell you how it helps you to you stay grounded in your mindfulness practices. All the practices that we did around here that we use every day that are small but powerful, they strengthen your attention and your awareness to what's going on in your life collective. That's why you heal. That's why you're out here glowing, looking good, and receiving your blessings. You pat yourself on the back. I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of you. I mean, I'm happy. All right, so we're going to get out something from the Oracle deck, the Inner Wisdom Compass cards. These are some beautiful cards. I'm just shuffling them all over. They were all upright when I started, but let me just tell you, I'm going to flip them over because They don't read in the reverse, but if they do, if I'm compelled to do so by spirit, I will. Okay, so we're dealing with avoidance, so we're going to get some energy on that and just see what the most high divine says about avoiding situations, and I'll read from there. Okay, first card out came out survivor. When everyone's counted you out, collective, you made it through because you're a survivor. Okay, these avoidants out here, they don't know about that. They're probably avoiding all the hard work that it takes to become a survivor, all the trust and faith in the most high divine that it takes to become a survivor. They're not tapping in, collective, like you, but you are. Okay, all right, but hopefully you start sharing these videos with them and they'll become less of an avoidant and more of a present person like us. All right, and what came out was, thank you divine, wisdom. Life experiences bring about wisdom. How you decide to use it will lead to your success and or your detriment. Okay. All right. Thank you, Divine, for that. I would say yes. Dealing with avoidance as well, you got to have wisdom. All right. You got to survive those bad boys and use your wisdom to do so. Okay. And let's just see what we can get out. Thank you, Divine, Most High Holy Spirit, for that. So let's just see what we can get out of here as far as some. And what came out was responsibility. Collective, it's our responsibility because maturity begins when you can take responsibility for your own actions. We already know that. We heal and we participate in our own rescue. We take responsibility for our own words, our expression, our everything, our essence, what we're expressing out to the world, and what we want in return. We take responsibility for our boundaries. We do it all over here at Oracle Rose Healing Tarot, don't we? To collective, you guys are wonderful, so thank you. All right, so we're gonna get one more card out for closing. So close up this reading. We're gonna ask the Most High Divine. All right, we've been doing the work and we've been getting the rewards, and I'm so happy for us. Okay, so we're going to be asking the Most High Divine. We've been doing some art. We've been dealing with some jokers out here. I'm telling you, collective, we've been getting through it. I'm telling you. One card, please. And I got like 8. That's too many. Oh my goodness. One card. All right, that one came. I'm taking it. I lost. Sometimes we must lose things and people to appreciate them and their value. Then other times we must lose to gain. Okay? All right. All right. You see that wine glass, how it cracks and fall apart? Yep. Sometimes you got to lose them. Everyone can go, collective. Everyone can go. All right. Now, sometimes the clearest answer is noticing when one was never really given, collective. The silence is also clarity in this case. All right. So just remember, go forward, shining brightly, knowing spirit in the word are guiding every step where your healing is becoming you and you are participating in your own rescue. Thank you, Divine Collective, for being here and for your presence and continue to grow this space with me. I'm so overwhelmed, so thank you. All right, like the video, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next reading. And remember, keep walking in your light.